What advice would you give for a single parent that is looking to manifest wealth?
Do you believe that there are people that are single parents that are able to do something that they're passionate about and be abundant?
'Cause I see it within other
Yeah.
people, but it's like, why can't I get that?
Well, why can't you do that? What would happen if you did become successful and happy?
I could spend more time with my kid. I keep hearing that same thing over, like, you're not allowed, you're not allowed.
You're not allowed to do what? Any of you can apply this in your own life. If there's any challenges that you're having, you're not aware of where this pattern comes from. Here's the thing.
What advice would you give for a single parent that is looking for, like, to manifest wealth?
Yeah.
Because, my reality, my life is I'm mom and dad, provider, right?
Right.
So, like, I have, like, 3 jobs.
Yeah.
And I feel like the universe is having its way with me and being like, you need to chill. But at the same time, I need to work. I need to be realistic.
Right.
I'm taking care of my child.
Yeah.
So just trying to figure out how to navigate. Because in my mind, it's like, if I do less, I'm missing out or I'm going to be in lack.
Right. When it comes to anything we want to create in our life, one thing to become aware of is the story that we also have about it in general. Because do you believe that there are people that are single moms, single parents, that are able to do something that they're passionate about and be abundant?
I do, because I see it within other
Yeah.
people, but it's like, why can't I get that?
Well, why can't you do that?
I'm trying to right now.
Well, trying is a different energy. Why don't you come up here for a moment? Yeah. Give her a hand. Yeah. Awesome. So, when it comes to this energy of what you're mentioning, there are people that are single parents that are able to do what they're passionate about and be abundant. And then there's also this, what is the story to why you can't have that? Why you're in the energy of trying?
Trying to think.
It's okay.
It just seems like something hard to achieve. Like it's something hard to do to get. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So is there a belief there that it's hard to do?
Yes.
Okay, where did you get that belief, or why is that belief there?
Because I'm a mom.
Mm-hmm. It's okay. Breathe into that. There you go.
I feel like I'm not allowed.
Yeah.
His dad's not there. He's never been there. So it's like, I have to be that. And I
Yeah.
have to focus on him.
Yeah.
On my kid.
So do you find that at times you're not able to focus on yourself?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What would it look like to be able to spend more time with yourself? What are ways you could do that more?
I figured if I make more money, then I can have that time for myself and my son so we can enjoy that time together.
Yeah.
But I work too much.
Yeah. I imagine probably working too much and working so much takes you out of being present, and then also makes you feel like you're just probably overwhelmed. Am I right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. What was interesting about this is that first off, there is a belief there that says that this thing might be possible, but it's not for me. Is that true?
It is.
There's some type of belief
I can feel
there.
that sometimes, yeah.
And how is that pattern serving you? And what would the payoff of that pattern be that would keep you where you are right now?
I don't know.
What are the familiar emotions that come when you feel overwhelmed with all these 3 jobs? And what story is that reaffirming?
Like I'm not doing enough.
Yeah. Can you remember a time in your past when maybe there was a similar story there of feeling like you're not doing enough?
I can't think of anything.
And what is the emotion behind not doing enough? Because that's more of a story.
Like I'm not enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So sometimes what happens for many of us is our sense of self-worth may also be tied into what we were mentioning before as well with what we do. What we do is connected to us being worthy. And sometimes we may feel that we don't have the sense of self-worth to focus on ourselves, and we just have to give in order to play into that role. Now, of course, this is your kid. So that's something else to be aware of. However, something to become aware of within this whole entire process is if you go steps deeper, because we could stay and look at the story of this whole thing, and then we can look at the story that could be there where it's like, this is how we have to be in society, this is what we need to do to survive, that's what money is. But if you equate it down to what a minute ago we looked at was ultimately, what did you say that it was really, what is the core of this whole entire thing we're talking about here?
Like I'm not doing enough.
Yeah, not doing enough and?
That I'm not enough.
Exactly. That's where the gold is. So any challenge that you're having in your life, become aware of what is the underlying energy there behind the story, because all the story is doing as well, it is reinvigorating the emotion. It's reinvigorating where you are. And ultimately, for a long time when I felt stuck in that 9-to-5 job that I had, and I was working 35, 40 hours a week, working a job I didn't like, bills to pay, things to do, commitments, and I wanted to be full-time on YouTube, making videos, but for a long time, there was a story there that I have to quit this one and then do this one. But for a while, what I did is I committed to making videos while I was working the 9-to-5 job, which wasn't easy. It wasn't like there were times where I would go to work, I would come back from work, and then I would make a video at midnight because I born and raised in Vegas, which is where I worked. So at 12 in the morning, I'd get home, I would film a video, edit a video, schedule a video to go out the next day, and then get up in the morning and do it all over again. So it wasn't always easy. But I was committed to that vision, and I told myself a new story. I didn't let those old emotions of feeling like I was stuck in that job continue to hold me back. And in a similar way, when we're talking about this, we can allow that story to continue to help us feel those emotions, but ultimately, there also may be a part of yourself that you can begin to become present with. Does that make sense? Maybe that unworthy. If there's an unworthy part of you, where does it exist inside of your body?
I would say
Here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right here. If that pattern or that energy had a voice, what would it say? You taking a deep breath? Just whatever comes to you. There's no right or wrong answer. But what is that voice in that energy that feels not worthy?
I just keep hearing like, you're not allowed, and I don't know why I hear that.
Yeah, well, here's something to become aware of. That's information right there. Feeling like I'm not allowed, there's information there. We don't have to understand exactly where it comes from. But allow yourself to feel into that. Is there anything else that comes up?
No, that's pretty much it. The same. I keep hearing that same thing over, like you're not allowed. You're not allowed.
Yeah. So maybe you're not allowed. You're not allowed to do what? Is it to do something or to be a certain way? Or to focus in a certain way?
Like to be successful and happy.
Yeah. What would happen if you did become successful and happy?
Could spend more time with my kid.
Yeah. Well, this is interesting, isn't it? Because on one hand, there may be some type of belief here that you have to work 3 jobs and be stressed out. But on the other hand, there could be a desire to be successful and happy and spend time with her kid, but also believe that she's not allowed. Do you guys see do you see like this awareness that's beginning to trickle up? So, not being allowed. What do you think that energy is really about? The deeper core of that. What is the insight here for you?
It's funny because it just popped up in my head. I hear like my parents' voices, like
Right. Yeah.
like we don't got money like that. They have money.
Yeah.
That's for rich people.
And let's look again at what you were mentioning a moment ago, where there's people that are single parents that are successful. Why can they do it and not you? Because which you mentioned a little bit ago.
I feel like I'm not enough.
You feel like you're not
good
enough, you're not allowed. And what's interesting here, too, is the voice that's in the back of our head, whose voice is it?
It's not mine.
It's not even yours. Let that settle in for a moment. Take a deep breath in. What if some of the thoughts and the beliefs and the patterns that are holding us back are not even our own? What if it was just an echo of an energy where it's what mom and dad said, and a strong desire for us as kids growing up is to stay in alignment with what mom and dad want because we want to stay loyal to our family. And there's certain terms that talk about this called hidden loyalties. So hidden loyalties is where maybe your mom and dad didn't have a happy relationship. Then you go out into the world and you almost subconsciously may not want to make your parents feel small about you being in a happy relationship, and you might tone it down. You might just avoid it altogether because why would you be? Maybe you're not allowed to have that if your parents didn't have that. You don't want to make your parents feel have like stuff comes up for them. So in an interesting way, the belief was, I'm not allowed. That belief or that thought is not even your thought. As a kid, and we all do this, as a kid, we were growing up, we were told certain things, we took it on, we put it on our back, and we carried it with us wherever we went. Playing by that rule, because we wanted our parents' validation and approval, and we wanted to be loved. So in an interesting way, the insight here so far is that a major block to this whole entire situation is a feeling, I'm not allowed. That I'm not allowed is not even your thought and feeling, or thought or belief. So if we look at that, what and who would you be without that belief, I'm not allowed?
Someone who is successful and confident in living that lifestyle.
And let me ask you this, is there another area of your life where you are allowed to do something, that you have allowed yourself to receive something in your life? Is there an area of your life where you are allowed, like you allow yourself to receive something? Maybe it's not the success and the abundance that right now is the focus. Is there another area of your life where you kind of give yourself permission and you're like, I am allowed for something, whether it's relationships, whether it's friendships, or things are going well in your life?
I would say overall my kid, and then the things that I love to do and enjoy, like I'm able to do those things.
Yeah. And when you think of those things that you do, why do you think the energy flows so smoothly?
Because it's natural. It just,
Yeah.
like I love doing it. I'm happy about it when I do it.
Yeah. And what's interesting about this too is when you're doing what you love and you're passionate in the moment, it's like things figure themselves out because it's the energy that you're coming from. Whereas if you're doing something to escape where you are, it's in a way trying to escape the present moment, but it's also a means to an end. So in an interesting way, I'm not allowed. There's certain, you give yourself permission in these other areas of your life. So it's not that you can't give yourself permission for certain things. You do give yourself permission in certain ways. You're a kid with things that you're passionate about. There's this context, though, with parents, with mom and dad, where it's like, I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed to be successful. What if you were allowed? Do you feel into that? What would an example of you being allowed for success be that you've been holding yourself back from stepping into?
Like, how would I be if I believed that?
Yeah.
I would just be it.
Yeah. Let's try something real quick.
Okay.
So if you come over here, you stand over here, stand in the middle. So what I want you to do is I want you to walk down the aisle right now with the energy of I'm not allowed. Okay? So like, how do you walk when you feel I'm not allowed and you feel like you're not sure what you are allowed to do? So a little slower, kind of like looking down. The body language is kind of like closed in a little bit. How does that feel?
Not good.
Not good.
Yeah.
Okay, now I want you to imagine there's like a magic wand here, and I wave the magic wand, all right? And what we're going to do is we're going to delete. Literally imagine in your field is the belief, I'm not allowed, is your parents' voice. That's an outdated voice. Because deep down, I bet your parents actually want you to be happy. Do they? Yeah, they want you to be happy. They maybe don't want you to do something that then would cause tension in some ways. They might be trying to protect you from something else you're not aware of. Maybe they had pain when they went to go start to do something. So they're actually trying to protect you. It comes from a loving place. But what I want you to imagine is I have this magic wand, like kind of in Harry Potter or something, and I wave the magic wand, and we go, you are allowed. So loosen up a little bit, shake it out, move your physiology, get loose. There you go. Yeah, allow yourself to breathe into that. Let it go. Breathe in that power. Let it go. Say, I am allowed.
I'm allowed.
And I give myself permission.
I give myself permission.
Say it again. Say it again. I give myself permission. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Say, I am worthy.
I am worthy.
There you go. Say it again. I am worthy. It's okay. Yeah.
I'm worthy.
It's beautiful. It's the energy that's coming up. These tears that are coming up are also the parts of herself that maybe hadn't heard that she was worthy. Maybe didn't give herself permission to allow. So what she's doing now is she's allowing herself to give herself, you're giving yourself permission to feel. And as you let that energy come in, taking a deep breath, let it go. And then you could be present with that sadness. You can be present with that power energy, because even though you're maybe there's emotion coming up right now, still there's more energy in your body than there was before, right? So now, what I'd ask you to do and invite you the invitation to do is to walk down the aisle as someone who is worthy, someone who is allowed, someone who is successful, someone who is confident. What does that look like? There you go. Yeah, there you go. It's amazing. Awesome. Well, how do you feel now?
Feel lighter.
Feel lighter?
Yeah.
Well, these two energy states that we were looking at, by the way, we all have the opportunity to shift into the old state of not being allowed, or whatever story that is for you. The energy state of you being in the energy of I am allowed is not just a mental idea. It's literally something within your physiology that you can begin shifting when the pattern comes up. And when the pattern does come up and you see the thought of I'm not allowed, you can recognize it's not your thought. It's not your belief. But it is your responsibility. It is your responsibility to choose to continue to believe in it. And you have a choice. You can continue to play in the energy of I'm not allowed, or you can choose the more empowering one of I'm worthy, I am allowed, I give myself permission. So by looking at these patterns and being aware of your state of energy that you're in, that's a very powerful way of changing the energy and shifting the energy. Now, have any of you ever seen or been to heard Tony Robbins? He talks so much about state. Almost so much so I'm like, does it really make that much of a difference? But it really is. State has an effect on your physiology. It has effect on the thoughts that you pick up on. Like there's an energetic connection to the information that's in your field based on the state that you're in. Most of us are primed to be in certain states of consciousness from the past. So it's like we stay in certain thought realms, thinking certain thoughts, feeling certain emotions. So by focusing in the future, when the thought comes up, you can recognize this isn't even my thought. Why not me? Why am I not I am worthy. I am enough. I give myself permission. I approve of myself. And as you start to have that perspective, you can even change your physiology. And notice how different you feel, breathing into it. And also working on and being aware of the energy of where it's stored inside of your body. If it has a voice, like any of you can apply this in your own life. If there's any challenges that you're having, and you're not aware of where this pattern comes from, here's the thing. You don't need to know exactly where the pattern comes from which childhood experience you got this thing that happened, and if you don't find that out, then you're going to live in this pattern hamster wheel forever. That's not the case. But by using the symbol of where in your body do you feel this emotion, this energy, you just sense it. Body awareness is very powerful. Then, as you feel where it is, some people say, oh, it's in my throat. That was happening yesterday. You right here. Okay, if this energy had a voice, what would it say? And literally that voice said, you're not allowed. You're not allowed. And also, many times, the bottom 2 or 3 chakras, especially the bottom 2 chakras, are connected to our family system. The root chakra is connected more to survival. Family system is connected more to that kind of like that area. So interestingly, it's like I want to stay aligned to my family system, but then, like in my system, this common energy that we have towards our family of wanting to stay in alignment with whatever that is, that's what the energy was saying. So then we have that information. Where did that thought come from? Where did that belief come from? It's not even mine. It wasn't even hers the whole time. And then we go into how do you think and feel when you believe that? Well, there's one walkway coming back where you can feel what that energy is. And then the next one, it's literally a choice of energy state and of being aware in the moment of which pattern you're in. So what are ways in which you can bring this energy with you and approach the situation from this energy state? Because like I was mentioning with the whole Tony Robbins thing, when you are in a certain energy state, you literally have access to different information. Does this make sense? Yes. And maybe many of you have felt that before, where you're in a certain state, you're trying to figure something out, you can't figure it out, and then you go do something else, you get into a flow state, you forget about it, and then you get all these ideas, right? Sometimes even me, I'll be taking a shower, and I'll just have ideas. It's like a spot where I just really relax and just new thoughts come. But find out what that is for you. But at the same time, that energy state that you can begin working on, you can then see how can you approach this energy, how can you approach this situation in a new way. Because also what I'll say is many times we give ourselves the pressure of once I figure out this thing, then I'll be happy with my son, spending time with my son. But the truth is, you can also enjoy the process along the way and you can create more alignment for yourself in the present moment to then also have that kind of energy dynamic with your son. Is there a way to do that? Is there a way in your life that right now, from this energy state, you can begin like kind of playing around these ideas? Not anything you say right now you're going to have to go with, but is there any creative solution where, I could do this a little bit differently?
Those 2 jobs got to go.
There you go.
Because in the end,
yeah.
Realistically, like, I'm a massage therapist. That's my full-time job. But it provides enough to where it's like, why is it that I need to do even more if that already provides already?
Yeah.
And
that's interesting. So you actually already had enough, but you believed you didn't have enough. So she takes on 2 more jobs. So now she has 3 jobs instead of 2. And then it's reaffirming that similar familiar emotion on the inside, but it's not even necessary. So what could you do? What if you focused more on that one, the one that is already enough anyways? And what if you focused on being more passionate and present with that, and you could see where that and how that could grow? Is that an opportunity? Is that something that you have the opportunity for?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to do that.
Yeah. So what is the take-home thing for you from this whole situation? What are you going to do?
I'm going to ignore those thoughts whenever they do pop up.
Yeah.
Me not being enough and be like, fuck you.
Yeah.
I am.
Well, and then also, let me also say, when thoughts come up like that, just observe them. Observe them. And realize they're not your thoughts. So we can say, fuck you thoughts, but by saying that, it also carries a residual energy. You know what I mean? It's like thoughts are neutral. The thought comes in, I'm not enough. Oh, look, it's almost like, imagine you're at a park bench and you're watching people walk by and you've got dogs and like people pushing strollers and birds and all this stuff happening. You can just observe it. You don't have to judge it. You don't have to get it to do anything different. You just let it be there. But that kind of neutrality with thinking can be very powerful because then it also takes away the charge. But that's a great answer regardless. You're not going to let that thought continue to impact it.
Recognizing what it is for what it is for.
Yeah. Yeah. And that it's not your thought to begin with. And then how can you shift your energy, your physiology? What's something you can remember that you can do to like shift into that energy? Is it a posture change? Is it a certain mantra that you can say?
I would say just doing the actual action and sticking to it.
Yeah. Okay, so when you go home, your one job brings enough abundance already. The other two jobs are overwhelming you. Is that an easy thing for you just to let them go?
It is, because I want to chill.
There you go.
I'm tired of overworking.
And then now you get to immediately spend more time with your kid. Mm-hmm. Isn't that interesting? Like, she doesn't have to wait to be more successful, to do all these other things, to get a whole bunch more money so that then you can spend more time with your kid. You literally can just shed off two of the three things, and then all of a sudden you have more time to spend with your kid. And then your energy is going to be more present on what you are doing, which is probably going to grow that even more. So that's amazing. So awesome. Let's give her a big round of applause. Awesome. Thank you very much.